Facebook, YouTube's acting weird somehow today because I couldn't plan this in advance, or I planned that, but I couldn't like share the link as normally, and it takes me directly to the live stream. So I'm starting a bit earlier than announced, but here I am. And as you know, this is an open live stream, so as you know, I don't know my brain is fried. It's Friday already, right? So it's kind of understandable. I mean, anyway, so for the next 20 minutes, I'll be here answering your questions. So if you have any questions regarding Czech immigration, different visa types, residence permit situations, accommodation, health insurance, starting a business in the Czech Republic, anything of this nature, write your questions in the chat and I'll be happy to answer those. Abroad travel with Lal. Hello. Hi. Thank you for joining. John. Hi, sir. Hi, John. Nice to have you here, guys. Let me know if you have any questions or you just came to hang out. Yeah, la. Because so far, there seem to be 2 people in the chat, but 1 people officially watching. So I don't know what's going on. And hopefully some more people will join. So let's see. First question. Oishik Chakraborty. I'm planning to send my documents for translation. Please can you drop your email so that I can contact? I want to do the translation through your company. Ideally get in touch via info@movetoprague.com. The thing is, we usually do translations only for our clients who work the whole case with us. If you want us to do the translation with us only, that's possible as well, but it's not like the most time and cost effective. So we usually do it for people we work on the visa with. But of course, get in touch and we'll try to figure something out. John, my problem is still on appointment issue, meaning that you cannot get an appointment for your work permit, or what's the exact problem there? 8 people watching. So guys, this is an open live stream Q&As. Q's in the chat, A's here from me. So ask your questions. I'll be happy to answer them. I've completed in Romania 1 year, 6 months. Can I apply for Czech employee card? That's a weird question. But it kind of depends on where you are from, because most nationalities in the world can only apply for any type of Czech visa or residence permit in the country of origin. Citizenship of India. So you can only do it in India or in the country where you have been officially legally staying for more than 2 years. So in Romania, you will need to stay there for 6 more months, and then you can apply. You will need to apply in Dresden, most likely, but only after you reach 2 years of residence there. John, and what are you trying to get an appointment for in Nigeria or Cameroon? Kumar, hi Jan, both parents are non-EU nationals and planning to have a new kid soon. Is there any allowance for the kid in Czech Republic? You mean like to get some support for them? For Czech kids for sure. I'm not sure if foreigners can get any support there as well, but that's a question more for an accountant or a tax advisor. I can recommend someone because I don't know. There is definitely a support for Czech kids, but I'm not sure if it applies to foreign kids as well. But one important thing, you have to apply for the same type of visa or residence permit you have for the child within 60 days after being born. Otherwise, even your own residence permits can be cancelled. You have to submit an application before 60 days. So do that for sure. Saida Ayesha Hussain. I've applied for a long-term spouse visa. What are most important interview questions, and do I also have to show my own finances? My husband is sponsoring me for entire year. All right. I've done a video about questions during interviews. So if you go to my channel, I still don't know where you need to click. I don't know how you see that. I don't really watch live streams on YouTube myself, so I don't know where you need to click, but you click somewhere, you get to my profile, and if you search there for embassy interview, it will find you at least 2 videos, maybe more, for this exact topic. So go there, watch that. But briefly, what's happening most now is that if your spouse has been living here for a couple of years, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 1 year, whatever, and you haven't been here since, then they question if your marriage is real. You know, because if you haven't seen each other for 5 years, or like you lived without each other for 5 years, it doesn't really seem like a real marriage from the Czech perspective. So that's usually what they question. So the question for you is, what's your situation? If you've been or your spouse have been here for how long, and how many times you visited each other, and how much time you actually spent together. If it's like 2 months in 5 years, it will be pretty weak application. If you travel to see each other every 3 months, that's fine. If he's been or she's been here for 3 months only, that's fine as well. But if it's been 5 years and you saw each other twice, that's probably gonna be a problem. As for finances, it doesn't matter. You can have in your own account, which is the easiest solution. If it's in your husband's account, he should write a statement saying you can use his money, but that's fine as well. Work permit appointments in Nigeria. Let me see. I will answer it right away. I have laptop here with me as well this time, so I will tell you. Okay, Nigeria, that's Abuja, the capital. If yes, then just give me a second. It's just slow, but then I'll answer that, and then I'll continue with the rest of the questions. Let me just see this. Abuja, there is exactly 0 appointments available at the embassy for employee cards. So you cannot get an appointment. That's why you're not getting an appointment, because there are 0 appointments. There are 80, but 80 are reserved for a special program for employers. So in that case, your employer would need to get you an appointment. If that's not happening, you're never getting an appointment, or at least until these quotas are changed. Sorry to say that. Client Proby, hello, PCCC had blocked my bank account and taken all my money to pay towards my social service insurance. Does this mean that money has gone towards what I owe? I'm permanent residence. Probably yes. Probably yes. If they do this, that's like the extreme solution. So yeah, that should be to cover your debts. The question is how much they've taken, how much you owe. But yes, what they've taken should be going towards your debts with them. Shucks. What is the cost for student insurance? Depends if you're a real student. That's one thing. First, if you study an accredited program, and second, if you're below 30. Because we've had students who are above 30, but then the student rates do not apply because you're too old to be a student from the perspective of insurance companies. But for students, I think the cheapest we've had recently was like 12,000 crowns a year, something like that. I'm not sure now because we have a new colleague. She's been with us for a couple of months, but the rates, we work with 6 insurance companies, and the rates change basically every 2 weeks, sometimes even faster, because like 1 week one company changes that, then the other week another company changes that, and they do it all the time. So it's very difficult to keep track with all the changes. So we've hired a colleague whose job is to keep track with all the changes, and who does the insurance for our clients. So we would need to calculate that to tell you exactly, but I think the most recent, the cheapest price for students were around 11 or 12,000 crowns, just roughly. Depends on the company, of course, but the cheapest. I have been once in Schengen, yeah, the long-term visa. Yeah, so these are probably the most important things for the family reunification. Ogwal Emmanuel. Hi, I'm from Uganda and I applied for student visa long-term residence permit last year. This is good actually, guys, that you mentioned already more information, so I get the idea, which is good. Thank you, Ogwal. A long-term residence permit last year on August, but they have not given me any feedback yet, and the first semester is almost done. Will they approve it? Probably not. This happens quite often, that the ministry takes such a long time that then deny it because it's been taking so much time. So there is no reason for you to come study here because you've missed half of the school. Of course, I don't know what's happening there, because there might be different reasons for the delays, and potentially they could still approve it. I'm not saying that it's like 100% it will be denied, but if you've missed half of the school year, that's kind of a lot. Or they could potentially say that if it doesn't matter that you studied online the whole time, you can study online the rest as well. So I would say personally that it's not gonna be approved, but it doesn't mean that it 100% will not be approved. Mukesh, can a non-EU Ukrainian get a Czech trade license if they have temporary protection visa but in Germany? Honestly, I don't know, but I would not say so. At least not an active trade license, because getting an active trade license is possible, but basically only for permanent residence holders in other EU countries, especially with the long-term resident of the EU status. Then we've done that before, so if you have a permanent residency in some other EU country, it's possible to get the trade license. You just need to get the criminal check from the country of origin. But with the temporary protection, I don't think it's possible. I actually had a Ukrainian lady here earlier today applying for a trade license with the temporary protection, but the Czech one. So I don't think, honestly, I'm not sure, it's not 100%, but I don't think it's possible. How much time does it take after visa interview to get the student visa? That depends on the outcome of the interview. I would say the longer, the more chances or higher chances that you get denied. Because if they want to approve it, if you answer everything correctly, everything is clear, the approval should not take that long. I would say maybe 2-3 weeks maximum. If it's been taken too long, there was probably something weird you said and something not good you said, so they might be already writing the denial letter, because then they need to specify what exactly or why exactly they are denying it. So I would say longer it takes, the lower the chances, but again, it's not like 100% rule like that. Abroad travel with Lal. If I get driving license B in Romania, is it acceptable in the Czech Republic? It should be. And if it's not, you can easily exchange it for the Czech one, because it's an EU driver's license. So as long as it's issued in accordance to the standards of the EU, then you should be fine. Saida, I applied once for long-term visa 1 year after get married, but I got rejected because they questioned my marriage. But it's been 3 years now. He had been multiple times here in my country. And I also have on Schengen once. The visa process takes forever. Do I have more chances of acceptance now? It depends on what you've done since then, because if they deny that after 1 year, or I don't know how long he was here before you applied, but if they denied it the first time, then you need to change a lot and you need to prepare very well for the next try. And if it's been 3 years later, I don't think it adds more credibility to the marriage, let's say. But of course, traveling, visiting each other, that's great. That's one of the important parts. Would be also good if you meanwhile got a child or got a house together, that you own a property or you have a mortgage together or something like that, like something else that ties you together as well. Abdurrahman Jalo, which health insurance is accepted in Czech? What do you mean exactly? What do you mean, like, which health insurance? What do you mean is accepted in Czech? Like, by immigration or by hospitals, or what like insurance you mean, like in general, like the international plans like Bupa or Cigna, or like your local national insurance, and what do you mean exactly? And we still have 5 minutes. For student visa. So first, you only need to get the health insurance when you get approved. So often people get in touch with us saying, hey, I need a health insurance because I'm applying for my student visa or any other visa, but this happens a lot with students. You don't need the visa to submit your application if you're submitting it through the embassy. If you're submitting it here for extension or whatever, then yes, you need to have insurance already. But if you're applying through an embassy, you don't need it for submission, you only need it for approval or after approval, because then the embassy tells you for how long you've been approved and you need to have health insurance for that long. As for what insurance is accepted in this case, that would be only a Czech health insurance. You could potentially get a foreign health insurance, but you would need to convince the ministry that the coverage is according to Czech immigration law, and that would be very difficult. You would at least need to translate all the terms and conditions, and they would need to say that the coverage is the same as the law requires, and that would probably cost you more than buying the Czech one. So you definitely need to get a Czech one, and from a Czech one, from the private options, you should go definitely for the comprehensive, because the emergency does not meet the requirements for long-term visas. This is what I'm talking about, like long-term visas, not short-term ones. How to get health insurance after visa availability. As an Indian student gonna travel soon to Czech, do you have an advice? The easiest thing you can do is write to us. We work with 6 different companies on the market. Well, we send you quotes, you choose one, we get it for you in 20 minutes, you're done, you print it out, go to the embassy, pick up the visa. So that's the easiest way to deal with that. We do health insurance for all our clients who do visa applications with us, but of course you can get in touch with us separately. We work with 6 companies, we have the best prices from all of them. So there's nothing better you can do. Just let us know your date of birth, for how long you need the insurance, when you need it, and we sort it out. Kabir Adesina, hi Jan, I did 2 full-time jobs together in 2024. How can I file my tax return, please? Ideally, hire an accountant to help with that, or speak with an accountant, because I don't know. I honestly am not even sure if you can do 2 full-time jobs at the same time. So that would be definitely better to discuss with either an accountant or tax advisor. Nidhi Raj, hey, how Indians are getting so much work visa for Hungary nowadays? I have no idea. Honestly. Ali Aftab, hi Jan, I applying for long-term residence permit for purpose of scientific research. All documents are complete, including hosting agreement and commitment. Any recommendations for visa interview? Usually for this, you don't really do visa interview, but you should definitely know everything. So everything about the program, where you will be doing the research, about the facility, what exactly you will be doing, something about I guess it's a university or maybe some other institution, but about the institution, where you will be living, how much you will be paid, how much you will pay for your accommodation, how to get from the accommodation to the workplace, all that. Basically, you need to show that it's real, that you're moving here because you really want to do this, and not because you're just trying to get a visa easily. But again, there should not really be an interview for that. But if they ask you about things related to the purpose of your stay primarily. Abdurrahman Yalo, can I get your email? Ideally use the info@movetoprague.com. That's the easiest. You can send it to me as well directly, but I would be forwarding it to one of my colleagues anyway. for the insurance. So info@movetoprague.com is the easiest. Reza Perez 10, the least price for fully covered insurance for 4 months for expats applying for temporary residency. It's difficult to say because it depends on your age. So it's different for a child, it's different for a 30 years old, it's different for 50 years old. One thing. Second, 4 months is usually more expensive than a year, not like the total amount, but the monthly price, because health insurance companies work the way that the longer you buy, the cheaper it is, like per month. So 4 months will be pretty expensive compared to like month's price, but it depends on your age and depends on if you want to get some special coverage or not. I would say you should expect for 4 months something around 5,000-6,000 crowns, but then it depends on the company, on your age, all that. Ihuoma Ushe Ibe. As an international student in Malta, which is an EU country, do I need a study visa to study in Czech? Depends. This is my favorite and most hated word because it's like based on what you told me, I cannot say. If you have a student residence permit, which is like has student written on your card, you can potentially come to the Czech Republic to study. But again, that must be like the proper studies for up to 1 year, and you don't need any visa or residence permit for that. But again, that depends on how you're settled in that country, in Malta, what program you find here, and it's maximum of 1 year. Then also the question is if it's good to do it this way or if you should better get a local residence permit as a student. So there are many circumstances you need to consider, but if you're a student, official student in Malta, you can potentially come to study in the Czech Republic without a visa for up to 1 year. Safe Haven, hi Jan, can I use a GEO number to check in OAM group portal? You can, it just depends if you have the correct one, and also depends if they already have it in the system, because if you applied 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, sometimes 4 or 5 weeks ago, it might not be in the system yet, so it will not be showing anything. But yes, there is the option of checking according to or based on the ZOV. Anubhav, do you guys help in job placement after 2 years of master's course in Czech Republic? We don't help with job placement, but we can help you with getting the job seeker residence permit or then switching to an employee card or a blue card. But I have a video about the best places to look for a job on my channel. It's one of the most popular, I think. So it maybe if you just if you search for it, you'll find it. Jobs in the Czech Republic or something like that. It's called, and there are plenty of tips on how to find jobs here. Reza Parestan, the least price for fully covered insurance. I already answered that, Reza. I would say 5,000 to 6,000 crowns depending on your age and the company you choose. Next, Madam Irma Agkaoili. Hello, Srian. If I invite my husband here in Czechia for family reunification, do you think he can still get a job? He's 56 now and will turn 57 in June. Someone told me there is no age limit here. There is no age limit. Just depends on what he brings to the table and what kind of job he's looking for. I think he can certainly find a job if he's either qualified for some positions, because directors of companies are often older, like above 50, and it might be good because they have experience, all that. I'm sure if he is a good software developer, companies will also not care about his age that much. Another thing, on the other hand, if he has no education, no experience, nothing, but he's in a good shape, he might find some like physical labor. So I think it's okay. It just depends on what he's bringing to the table and what he will be looking for. There is no age limit. Czechs, when applying for the visa, is it advisable to write a statement of purpose? For which one, Czechs? I don't remember what visa you're applying for. Czechs was a student insurance. Well, not really. I don't think the purpose of your stay will be kind of clear. It's just, well, I mean, you could write something, but the question is if you write it in a good way, so it will support the application, or if it could even hurt the application. So I would probably, if you want to do it yourself without any consultations or anything, I would probably not do it and wait for the interview. And then if you are invited for an interview, then just deal with the interview well. Rugvet Satardekar. I'm on study visa and got full-time job in IT. How to take employee card? Please help me. I really appreciate your help. You will be happy to help with the whole process, but you also need to get help from the company, because you cannot really do it without them. I would definitely not recommend applying for non-dual employee card as a student, because as soon as you stop being a student, or if you don't pass your exams, you don't get the Czech diploma, then you're completely screwed and you will be deported, let's say. So I would definitely recommend applying for a standard employee card. So you need to have the job advertisement and your company must do it. Plus you might need some confirmation from them anyway after approval. So you should definitely do it with help of your company. We will be happy to help with the process itself, but your company must be involved. Ali Aftab, thank you, and my hopes are high now. After arrival, I would love to have a meet with you. I would require consultation regarding settlement in Czech. Where should I contact you? Ideally, the same address I've been repeating here, info@movetoprague.com. That's the easiest way of contacting us, and my colleagues will sort it out. And if it's for me, they will send it to me. Jabin Asad, if a student age is 28, then how much health insurance costs approximately? Any idea? I would say anything between 12 and 15,000 crowns for a year. Saida, it's good or bad to show the intention of working in Czech during long-term family visa interview? You're applying for a family reunification, so the main purpose for you should be coming to see your spouse and live with your spouse and build life with your spouse, stay here forever with your spouse, have kids with your spouse, buy a flat here and like stay here forever with your spouse, because you're applying for a family reunification. If you're applying for an employee card, talking about the job should be the priority. In this case, definitely the relationship or the marriage. Safe Haven, it's been 4 months ago I applied. When I entered the number in OAM, it says your application is granted, but in the ZOV, it says application not found. Just wondering if that's accurate. Well, if you have also the other number and it shows that you've been approved, I would be happy for that. But if you applied at the embassy, you need to hear from the embassy that you've been approved. So the question is how long ago it was approved and when the embassy will contact you for further instructions. Okay, guys, that was the last question. It's 29 minutes. I said it would be 20, so I think it's time to finish the live stream today. But thank you for being here. Thank you for asking the questions, because without that, I would be done in 5 minutes. And I'm hopeful this was helpful, and that I will see you again Thursday, Monday, until the end of the world. Good night, guys. Bye-bye.